the 85-86 season saw experience challenged by the vibrancy of youth, like Xavier McDaniel, Seattle's unanimous all-rookie forward.
There you go, X. You like that intro?
Yes. It should have said also should have been Rookie of the Year.
Well, we should have said. We'll put that in next time. I promise.
Okay.
Xavier McDaniel, our guest. So I presume you're in South Carolina as we speak.
No, I'm in St. Louis.
Oh, you're in St. Louis. What the heck are you doing in St. Louis?
My wife got a job at Harrisville State University, Historical Black School, as the head basketball coach. And I've been in St. Louis for the second season.
Awesome. That's tremendous. Well, thanks for being on the show. So I don't know if you've had a chance to see your Shockers. They're 4-0. They're off to a good start. Paul Mills seems to be the right guy at the right time. Have you had a chance to see them yet?
I watched a little bit yesterday on ESPN. I got the app. I hit it. College basketball, so I was able to watch a little bit yesterday, but by the time I was watching, it was about over with.
Yeah. Well, I think they play tonight against Liberty.
Playing very well.
Yeah, they're looking good.
I didn't know who they had because Liberty played and Furman played, so I guess Liberty beat Furman.
Liberty beat Furman pretty good. Liberty's going to be a challenge tonight.
Oh, okay.
X, you know, we're listening to this, an 85 rookie, and obviously going back to the years you were here. Give us a little rundown of just your time here and what it meant to you.
I got to town. I remember coming into town. I remember being downtown. I remember some police officer gave me a ticket for jaywalking, and I didn't know what in the world a jaywalking ticket was. He talking about you got to use the crosswalk. I'm like, I didn't know that. I mean, I knew about crosswalking, but you know, everybody just crossed the street. Where we at? I got a ticket, and but I got picked up at the bus station downtown on Broadway, and got to the dorm and just kind of settled in and just trying to make my mark, knowing that we had Cliff Livingston, Antoine Carr, Tony Martin, Jay Jackson, Mike Jones, Arby Sherrod, Greg Dryland, and Zarko, and we just had so many, Cedric Phillips, so many great players. I just wanted to come in and just try to make my name for myself and just believe in me, and hopefully that the coaches believe in me. And, you know, I had such a great high school coach, Coach Carl Williams, passed away about 3 years ago now, who basically, I'm looking at our plays at Wichita State, and I'm like, oh, that's our play that we had in high school. So that made the transition a whole lot easier with the offense that we ran. And one thing about Coach Smith, and if anybody don't know anything about it, if you can rebound, you can play. And I figured that out early in my career is play defense and rebound, and you'll get time. And everything else will come. And that's basically what happened. I had a great 4 years. I tell people I understand the culture of the NBA and the money of the NBA and what's out there, but kids don't really, really understand what they miss when you go to college. It's just so fun and enjoying. You don't have to worry about anything, no bills. People ain't trying to sue you. You know, when you get in the NBA, you have so many obstacles that people are trying to, you know, get money from you. But you're in college, man. It was the best 4 years of my life.
Xavier McDaniel is our guest. He, of course, led the country in scoring and rebounding as a senior, which is absolutely unheard of. 27.2 points, 14.8 rebounds, and then had a long and distinguished NBA career. So I want to kind of jump to the NBA. Today's game is a much different game than when you played. There wasn't much finesse. It was brutality when you were in the NBA. Do you like which style of game do you like the most? I think I know what your answer is going to be. You probably like the way you guys played.
I like my era. I like my era. if you can shoot the three and you open, you take it. Today's game is analytics got it so messed up that it cost the Houston Rockets a championship. Houston a championship because they kept shooting threes when they should have been taking twos. The analytics are good, but when you get in crunch time and you got a two, you just got to take it. And people are just like, oh, he should have took a step back and then took the three. That is crazy. I mean, I don't understand it, but it's the culture that we live in now. You know, you either dunk it or you shoot the long three. So, but I like our era was physical. It was a man's game. It's very difficult for young kids to come in. They may have the talent, but once you get hit, man, you know, you either bounce up. I tell people all the time, watch LeBron go to, he went to the floor, watch it lay there. That's what they teach him. It don't matter if you're 250, 260, whatever his weight is. You know, today's game, you know, you always hear LeBron say, what? I'm from Northeast Ohio. We play football. But every time he get hit, what do? He lay on the floor. They go over there, flagrant one, flagrant two, whatever the call may be. When I played, you know, like Nate, get up, X, or Aubrey, get up, X, you know, we bounced back up because you didn't want a guy to see that you got hurt and that you was just that easy to get hit. Today, you just lay on the floor and they go to the cameras. So I just think I like my era, but I think as far as longevity, you got to like their era because you don't have the physical play. I mean, you'll get a physical situation like Draymond Green and Jalen McDaniels, who's not related to me, and Klay Thompson get into it, and everything get acting crazy. But for the most part, longevity, you got to like today's game. I mean, I like it. The guys are big, they're strong, they can jump, they can shoot, they can handle. They can do a lot of things that we weren't allowed to do in high school. I could dribble, and I was told I could never dribble. You get the rebound, and Xavier, you give it to the guard. And every time, sometimes I would get the rebound in high school, and I would speed dribble up court, lay it up, next dead ball or foul, the buzzer blow, come to the sideline, take me out the game, sit down, we tell you we don't want you to dribble. So the game has just changed so much. So it just depends on, I like our era. That's all I can say. I like it, but if I want to talk about longevity, where I got hurt in 88, I got hurt January 88. I played on a bum knee from January, late January to May. We lost to Denver. I go and have surgery 3 days later, something like that. So today's game, they protect the young kids. They may have surgery and then just set them out for the whole year. You've seen that a lot with a lot of young players that sit out for 1 year. Think about from Kansas, Joe Embiid, what they did for 2 years basically, just to get him to the point where he could play a full season. So it just all depends. But I mean, the basketball is still good. I just would like to see the inside game. But it only takes a guy like Shaquille O'Neal to come back around again, a guy like Wilt Chamberlain or Patrick Ewing or Elijah Wan, and then now you got a big guy like that in the middle, and he's scoring every time. You just don't have those type of guys anymore. You just don't. But when you get a guy like that, then it's going to change again. And the game is going to keep evolving.
I couldn't agree with you more. The style in the 80s, 90s was why I watched basketball. But I'm kind of curious on your thoughts now. You know, like you said, you went to WSU and you knew you were going to be there for 4 years and be able to do something and grow and learn. And nowadays with the transfer portal and everything else going on with basketball, how do you see it in not just basketball but in all of college sports? Do you find this as a good thing or a bad thing?
For me, I think it's bad. And I think it's bad for the fans. When me and Aubrey get to talking, like, man, we only had, I said, wow, I seen it. Man, I watched the box scores, dude. It's like 6,300. People came out because they knew Aubrey, X, Antoine, or Cliff, or let's say Cliff and Antoine coming back with Tony Moore, Jay Jackson, and then they bringing in Greg Dryland, a local, Aubrey Sherrod, a local. Then they bringing in two guys, one from the East Coast and one from California, Xavier McDaniel and Cedric Phillips. So the people would come out and just watch us in the summer and play. But it made excitement knowing that your team is coming back. But the only thing I can say is that we got to still get out and we got to still support these guys because home court advantage is such a big thing. It's not like baseball or football where you're looking at home court. You know, I think baseball is like 58 and football is like 60. But if you got a good basketball team, you win almost all your home games. You're like 90%. You know, so home court is very important. But I understand what people, they don't know who's out there. You know, like right now, if you ask me who's out there, someone tweeted something about one of the guys on the team, I can't think of his name right now, had 3 rebounds, hadn't been done since 84, which means that was during my senior year. So only person I know on the team right now is Xavier Bell. So, but you it's your home team. And I told Harvard, go look at Kansas. You watch Kansas. They're not selling out neither. People come out to be familiar with who's there. And so the only thing I can say is that we got to get out there anyhow, regardless of who's out there. We need to root for them.
Xavier McDaniel, our guest, we're talking, reminiscing with X. It's always fun to do. So you started your career in Seattle. That team continued to improve year after year. You went to the Knicks, and then you arrived in Boston. And I'm very curious about, as you know, I love Larry Bird. He was not there at the time, but those who were there among them were Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale, who were in their final seasons in Boston. What was that like as teammates with those guys? How much did they just talk about that experience of playing with those guys at the end of their careers?
Well, let's start with Kevin McHale. Great guy, funny guy, crack jokes. And at that time, he rarely practiced because of his bad feet at that time. And so he rarely practiced. But he was always there, always watching. But he was just on that decline where he just physically could not play a whole lot of games. And I think we played together for 2 years, me, him, and Robert. I think me and Robert played 3 years together. The Chief played 3. And so the Chief, I've never seen a guy, he stretches, professional, always on time, except when he got caught for the weed and stuff. But
except for that, yeah.
He's always on time, man. But they both were professionals. And they, we were in that transition where Bird, I got to Boston because Larry Bird retired. I could never get to Boston if Larry come back because by him retiring, I took what they call a Larry Bird exception. That's the rule. And I took his salary slot. And that's how I was able to get to Boston. I wanted to stay in New York, but New York was procrastinating on what they wanted to do with me. And I've told the story a million times. I got a call from a reporter, and he told me that they were going to screw me around. He said they may not tell you that. They had James Worthy in, and they had a couple guys in. I already knew they tried to sign Harvey Grant. So I figured once the Harvey Grant situation was over, okay, what's the deal? It's like September now. All the top-tier players are signing except for me. And so I decided to call David Falk. And only Arthur could confirm it. David Falk could confirm it. I went to Boston. I was supposed to go to Chicago that year too. But Red Auerbach said, if you leave, we're not going to offer you this deal again. It's a one-shot deal. You take it or leave it. And so I was like, it's a month away from training camp because training camp is October. I was like, dang. I called Patrick Ewing and said, what you want me to do, man? You going to call them and they take care of me? Or he said, man, if they was going to take care of you, you would did it. And I signed with Boston. True story.
Wow. X, it's always fun. Are you now, you live in St. Louis, is that right?
If that's what you want to call it. Yeah, actually, yes, I live here right now. I live here right now. I'm in St. Louis. So my kids are in school. I got a 9 and a 6-year-old now. They both just had birthdays September and October. So yes, I am living in St. Louis, but I still go back to South Carolina because I still got my house there. So I'm still back and forth.
Well, we love it when you come to Wichita. We know you do that periodically as well.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on with us.
We need you out there, Shocker fans. We need you to come regardless. We need you. Let's come and cheer these guys on. So hopefully it'll come out.
X, it's always good. Thank you for coming on with us. We appreciate it.
Anytime.